Okay, I'm making this video for Jessica because I told her I would tell the story from last night just because I know she likes to hear me talk. So ignore the fact that I look like an idiot because I went to work today and like half asleep because I got 3 hours of sleep because I didn't get home from the city until 5 in the morning. But okay, I'm just gonna tell you like the Cameron and Jordan part that I wrote about. I know you already read it, but it doesn't matter. Okay, well, we went outside, and then somebody was like, "Oh, Jordan's hanging out inside." So we went upstairs, and Cameron and Jordan were there. And Jordan had like way more people than Cameron did. So we went over to Cameron, and like he almost walked right past me. Like he looked at me and like waved and like just kept walking. I'm like, "No, Cameron, stop, talk to me." So I don't know. We just started like I don't know talking, and so like I started telling him I was like, "Hey, I'm real excited. This is like my 11th time I get to see you guys." And he was like, "Oh, really?" Like he was kind of like, "Oh," but at the same time, like I don't know, he didn't care. He was like, "There's a girl here who was like her 17th time. You need to get on her level." And I was like, "What?" And then he was all like, and then like I don't know. Then I feel like he was just joking around and just like being nice, Cameron again. And he's just like, "Oh," he's like, "I'm so disappointed in you, girl. You could do so much better than that." He's like, "You need to come see me 100 more times." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then like I don't know, he's just like, "You gotta come see me. You gotta come see me." Da da da. And I'm like, "Okay, Cameron." And so we were talking, and I'm kind of just reading what I already wrote, so I can kind of like tell you what happened. Um, Yeah, he's like, "You should come." He's like, "I want you to see me the most times." He's like, "I want you to come to every show." And he's like, "I want you to win this contest." It's like, it's not a contest. And he goes, "No, you can make it one." And I was like, okay. So then, like, we were standing there, and this girl comes over, and she was like, "Hey, I like your jacket." And he was like, "I like my jacket too. That's why I'm wearing it." And I was like, "Oh, Cameron, you can't say things like that." And I was like, "Whatever." I was like, "Can we get a picture?" And he was like, "Yeah." So we took a picture, and then he kind of just like walked away. And I was like, "Okay." And then so like I was hanging out with like a bunch of people or whatever, like I don't know, like my city friends, you know. And then um, somebody was like, "Hey, can you take a picture of me and Cameron?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." So I go over there, and so I take the picture, and then I'm like, "Oh, well, I can get Cameron to take a picture for the dumb tag on my blog." So I was just like, "Cameron, if I take a picture of you, can you just make the dumbest face you can possibly think of?" And he's like, "Yeah, okay." And then he stood there. He goes, "Wait, why am I doing this alone?" And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Come over here." And I was like, "No, I need to take a picture of just you." And he was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because I want it." And he was like, "Why do I have to do it?" And I was like, "Because I said so." And then he's like, "Why?" I was like, "Why not?" He's like, "Why?" I was like, "Why not?" He was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Listen, just," in my head I'm just like, "Oh my god, can you just take the damn picture?" And he's like, I was like, "Why not?" And then he was like, "I asked you first. You're not allowed to say that." And I was like, "Wow, okay." So then I was like, "Whatever, fine, it's for my blog." He's like, "Oh, so you can be internet famous?" And I was like, "No, I'm never gonna be internet famous." And then he was like, "Everybody's gonna call me ugly." I was like, "Nobody thinks you're ugly." He's like, "They will." I was like, "No, literally, Cameron, nobody is gonna think you're ugly." And then he was all like, "It's gonna get 7 million." Like he was like screaming and flailing his arms. He was like, "It's gonna get 7 million reblogs, and they're all gonna be talking about how ugly I am." I was like, "No, Cam, you're gonna be lucky if you get 7 notes because you're ugly." And then I'm like, "Can you just do it?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Please?" And he was like, "No." And then I was just like, "Please." And then he was like, "Fine." So then he made the dumb face, and then he was like, "Okay, now we have to take one." And I was like, "Okay." So I walked over by him and we took the picture, and he made the same face, so it was stupid anyways. And then these girls came over and they were talking to Cameron or whatever, and I was like, "Whatever." So and then like, um, yeah, and then so he talked to the girls, and then they came back. No, he came back over by me, and he was like, he was saying goodbye, and he's like, "Thanks for coming, da da." And I was like, "Yeah, thank you," you know. And like he went to go high five me, and I'm like, "Who do you think I am?" And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "No, give me a hug." So he hugged me, and then he's like, "Thanks for coming." And then like I bought Tay a box of like emergency, to drink, and people keep texting me, and it's like that. I don't know, it's like vitamin stuff, and I put like little like Valentine hearts all over it. you know, it's supposed to be like a late Valentine, but she was sick and couldn't hang out, so whatever. And I was like, hey, can you do me a favor? And he's like, well, I just did you like 6 favors, so I guess I could do one more. I was like, okay, just give this to Tay. And he was like, okay. And then he said thank you again, and then he left. And so then we finally went over to Jordan, but like Jordan was talking to these other fans that I knew that he like knew. So he was like, he was talking to, but he like, I don't know, he just really didn't look like he liked that girl. And I was just like, oh, okay. So like I waited to talk to Jordan because like I didn't want there to be a lot of people around. So then like I think there was probably like 6 girls there, but I think they were like all together. Cause then like they kind of like while they were there, the security guard came over and was like, "Oh, hey, you got to get your picture and go because we got to leave." And I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "I just want to talk to Jordan. Like, why? Just leave." So then, we sometimes I talk too fast and I lose my train of thought and I don't know what I'm saying. Security guard, and then so we go over like Jordan sees me and he just like I don't know, he just looks at me and he's like, he's like, I'm so glad I got to talk to you before they made everybody leave. And then like he just gives me this hug and I'm just like, oh, I love you so much. And then so I'm like, okay. I was like, I told you last time it was my 10th time, which makes this my 11th time. And I was like, and I feel like we've never like actually introduced ourselves. But I mean like Jordan always kind of like looks at me and he gives me like the and then like hugs me kind of thing. Like not like it was last night though, because it was just like, I'm so happy I got to see you. You know what I'm saying? But either way, like he always kind of just like smiles when he sees me and gives me a hug. But I don't know, it was just awesome last night. And so like I know that Jordan knew my face and like of me, you know. And then so I was just joking around. And I was like, oh, hey, yeah, so I'm going to introduce myself. And I was like, hi, I'm Savannah. It's nice to meet you. And he was like, what? And, like, I just kind of looked at him. He's like, I already knew your name. And then, like, I looked at him, like, I've never told you my name. Like, I don't even think, like, anybody else in the band knows my name. And then he's like, no. He's like, you follow me on everything. We're, like, Facebook friends or something. And he's like, I see your @ replies. And literally, I tweet Jordan, like, once a month, if that, because he doesn't use his damn Twitter. So I was just like, like I don't know, it just felt really awkward. Just like I didn't even know what to say. I was like, every time I introduce myself to somebody, they already know my name, and then every time I assume that they'd know my name, they don't. So it was just really dumb, and I felt really awkward. And then so I was like, every time I see you, I feel like I should say thank you, which I think I do. And then he just kind of like gave me this little smile. And I was like, so I made you this really corny gift. So I was like, I feel really awkward. And he's like, oh, is it like a note or something? And I was like, kinda. So then like I opened my bag and I gave him a letter. And like it was just like in an envelope. And he was like, oh, I'm going to read this later. And I was like, okay. So we put it in his coat pocket. And I was like, but I have something else for you. And like it was like a deck of cards that I like put together. And, like, on each card, it had a reason that I love Jordan. So it was, like, it's, like, the front said 52 reasons I love Jordan Eckes. And then, like, I gave it to him, and, like, he just got this huge smile. He's like, no way, my mom's gonna flip the fuck out. And I was like, and I turned to my friend, I was like, see, I told you, I knew he was gonna show his mom. I hope it makes his mom cry. Because, I mean, 52 reasons was a lot. Like, I don't know, it was a lot to think of. So he was talking to me and he just kept saying thank you and just like a lot. And he's like, I'm gonna read your letter later. And I was like, okay, my Twitter name's on there, so if you happen to, so hopefully he tweets me because he's the only person in Weird the Crowd that hasn't tweeted me because he doesn't use his Twitter, which is why I wouldn't figure he knows my name, but obviously he does. And then, I don't know. And then we just kind of like talked. I told him how I lost my ticket to get into the show, and then like I was complaining about it on Twitter, and then like my friend, like, knows we are the in crowd, and like he DM'd me, which is weird because he doesn't even follow me, so I'm not really exactly sure how he saw my tweets. He's like, still can't find your ticket, and I was like I tweeted him because I couldn't DM him back, and he was like, I was like, no, and then like he commented on my friend's status and was like, tell Savannah to answer my damn message, I'm trying to help her. And then like so then we're like, she can't message you, and he was like, well, does she still need a ticket? I was like, yeah. And then he was like, okay, I'll try to help her. And then like I talked to him later on, and he was like, their guest list is full. Sorry. I mean, he was gonna get me in, but like it didn't matter. So like I just brought my way in again. So I told Jordan that, and he was like, oh, I feel so awful. And I was like, what? He was like, Nick texted me about that earlier. He's like, I didn't know that it was you. He was like, if our guest list wasn't full, he was like, you know, we would have got you in. And I'm like, I bought my way in twice. I was like, I paid $50 to go see you on Warped. That is the reason I went to Warped for last year, was to see you guys. So, and then, and then he was like, oh, thank you. And then, and then we were talking. He said something about the Kiss Me Again music video, so I was like, yeah, remember when you made that status about all those extras? He goes, actually, yeah. He was like, my manager called me. He's like, our PR called me. He's like, apparently that's not what I was supposed to do, and they were all mad at me, and I had to delete it anyways. And he was like, so we didn't end up even needing any of those extras. He's like, people were messaging me from other countries, like, I can't come, but I'm like, why the hell are you messaging me? And, like, I don't know, so, like, that really had no purpose to it. And I was like, yeah, I know, because your dumb video shoot was the same day as the Somerset anyways. And he was like, I thought they were in the Philippines. I was like, no, they were just here. You guys could have saw them. He's like, yeah, well, we had to get our shoot done. And then I was like, and then I was like, we were talking about the Somerset, and then I was like, I don't care, Steven's rude. And then he was like, yeah, actually, he is sometimes. And like, I don't know, I figured, like, Steven's friends would just stand up for him, but Jordan was kind of like, he gets way overboard sometimes. And then it was like, oh, I love you so much more. And then we rounded over Steven Gomez. And then, I don't know, we were just, I don't know, we just talk about dumb stuff all the time. And then, like, the lights went off, and they're like, oh, we should get a picture. And then I kind of looked at him, I was like, oh, what do you want to do? And then we were just kind of, like, mutually like, oh, let's do a hugging picture. But, like, the way that he was holding me, his arm was, like, straight across my face. Like, I could feel it. Like, it was really awkward when we took it. And the first one was too bright, and then we took it again, and it still didn't work. And then, yeah, I don't know. And then, I think that's it. And then he kind of, like, and then he was just kind of like, oh, thanks for coming out to the show. It was really nice to see you again. I hope we see you soon. And I was like, whenever you come back. I was like, well, obviously be here. And then, he just kind of thanked me and gave me another hug, and we said goodbye. And yeah, I don't know. Cameron's usually really rude. Cameron, like, lately has been really rude to me all the time, so. And then, like, I don't know, he was actually kind of rude last night. Like, my friend thought he was being really rude, but then after a while, he kind of, like, loosened up and kind of, like, started, like, joking around with me like he used to. But, I don't know, Cameron still doesn't respect me like he used to, but I still love Cameron a lot. I mean, it's just the eyebrows that makes me love him, but I don't know. Jordan's just really nice to me. And I was really confused, and he knows my name, and then, I don't know. But, I don't really know what I'm supposed to say or anything, because I told you exactly what I wrote on the blog, so, maybe I just won't make text posts, and I'll do this all the time from now on, I guess. Okay, I just love Jordan, that's it.